you have to care about what you're doing. You can't just put it out there and say, I'm gonna make $1 million with this or whatever. You got to put it out there and say, I want to put it out there because I want to put it out there. I believe in what I've made. I believe in what I've created. I believe that other people will enjoy what I've created. So if you believe it, then other people will.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to My Social Life. I'm your host, Jacob Kelly. As always, today's podcast is powered by TrueFan. Today on the show, we are joined by Tina Modugno. You might not know Tina, but there's a good chance you know her cat, Oreo, because she is the woman behind the popular TikTok account, the Oreo Cat, which is currently sitting at over 2.3 million followers. On top of that, she has over 400,000 followers on Facebook, 189,000 followers on both Instagram and Tumblr. And she also has 3.6 million followers on an app called Likey. That's like with 2 E's. How did Oreo grow on social media? Let's find out. Tina, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear where I want to start. I want to know, who was Tina before social media?
I'm an illustrator. I illustrate kids' books. Well, I did. And I did a lot of educational work, like educational worksheets, online printables, and things like that. Um, I was a gaming artist for many years. I studied in 3D animation, and I was a texture artist for games and for TV shows and stuff for many years before I started doing illustration work. And I was a tester as well for 3D software for a few years. So that's what I did before I my cats sort of took over everything.
That's awesome. And for anybody watching that's putting on video right now, having a snack. And you've always, from my understanding, kind of had an affinity for animals and a love for animals. Like you grew up, you were the kid, correct me if I'm wrong, who grew up with the pets most kids didn't have, right? Like I believe you had a pony named Cinderella.
How did you even know that? That is so cool.
I honestly can't remember it because I would have prepped a little while ago, so I can't remember where exactly I found that.
Yeah, I think that might be from Tamar's blog from quite a long time ago. Wow, good work.
Thank you. You're probably right. I honestly can't remember where. I didn't put any of the sources in here. I just kind of pasted it in here. And then so Oreo Cat, when did he come into your life? When did Oreo?
Oreo came into my life in 2013. My youngest sister and her husband found him outside with another kitten, and they took him in. But my sister is very allergic to cats. So, and at that time, I was living with my ex husband, and we already had a few cats. And I saw his little picture, and I was like, "Oh, Emily," I was like, "If you need any help or whatever, I'll take care of him. We'll try and get them adopted or whatever." So that was the idea at the beginning, was kind of take them in because they were only a few weeks old, and we had a no-kill shelter in our area, and I was gonna bring them there. And when they came in, I took their picture and I sent it to my ex-husband. I was like, "I'm gonna go bring them to the shelter today." He's like, "No, no, wait. I want to see them when I get." And then it was like they never left. So, so the sister, her name was Patches. She was adopted by a longtime family friend of mine, and Oreo was really, really sick. So there was more than one reason why I didn't want to adopt him out, because I was kind of worried that, you know, somebody with maybe less experience would not know how to take care of him. So I was pretty concerned. So I ended up keeping him. We had a scare with him a few days after I took him in. He almost died. Um, and I ended up having to give him mouth to nose, which is really not easy on a cat that's fits in the palm of your hand. But he survived, and I promised him that I would keep him. So that's what happened.
And like coincidentally, I believe it was a couple weeks before you actually watched, I think it was a show on the Discovery Channel about.
Yeah, it was like I don't remember if it was on the it was like some kinda channel like that. I don't remember the exact channel, but, yeah, it was just, like, random, and it was showing how to give CPR and stuff to your pets if it ever happens or whatever. It was some kinda, like, news show or whatever, I don't know. And I just, like it kinda was the first thing that I remembered, you know? So I was like, "Oh, you gotta close their mouth and blow into their nose," and that's what I did. So, yeah.
That's amazing. And so after you decide to keep him, do you start posting on social media right away? Because I think was it your nephews who wanted to see him, so that's why you created the Facebook page?
Yeah, there was one who was really allergic to, like, animals of all kinds, dogs and cats. You're really enjoying that, aren't you, Pudding? It's like not giving up. Um, so yeah, I made a little page, and was just gonna post the photos of him as he was growing up because they thought he was really cute and they wanted to see him grow up. And, I was a big fan and still am of, N2 the Talking Cat, now N2 Cat Crew. I loved their YouTube videos and things, and at one point, I was doing a lot of, um, pet portraits, especially of cats and stuff like that. I would collect the funds and I would donate part of it to shelter and stuff like that. And I don't remember how it happened that he saw one of my drawings and he commented on Twitter and said, "You should do our album cover, our next album cover." And I freaked out because I loved them. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Sure." And then we got in touch and I did do their album cover and he shared a baby picture of Oreo on his page. And within a night, we went from like 10 fans to like 6,000. So, and he was like, "Well, now you got to continue." So, and I had no idea what I was doing. So that's where it began.
That's awesome. And so from that point then, how long was it before you published the book?
I think the book probably came about maybe a year later, I guess. Um, I was already an illustrator and I drew pictures of him all the time of Oreo and the others. I don't really remember how it started, but I was putting little illustrations on our page as well, and people were saying, "Oh, you should do a kids book. You should do a kids book." And I was also putting up these like little comic comics made with like photos where we'd have like a little comic skit written in the photos, and people really liked that, and they're like, "Oh, you should do a book." So I said, "Okay." Made a collection of those, and I did some little stories with illustrations, and that's where it happened. I don't remember where the bacon thing came from.
So you got the early traction from N2 the Talking Cat resharing
Yeah.
Oreo. But was Vine the first time that you really kind of went viral?
There was Vine and there was Tumblr. Um, Tumblr played a huge part in it as well. So did Vine. So the first video that went viral on Vine was Oreo, and he did this crazy jump in the kitchen. He was playing with a ball and he just started jumping, and I posted that to Vine and it went crazy. And then after he did that, he sort of kept doing that all the time, became his thing. And I started trying to catch him doing it. And there was one day where I was playing with him, playing ball, and he was doing all these little jumps, and I decided to put it to music. I put it to Hey Ya by Outkast. And at that time, the all the copyright problems on or things on apps was not like really wasn't a big deal. So I posted it to Vine. I mean, nowadays we wouldn't be able to do that, and I totally understand why. But at that point, it was okay, I guess, or not, or whatever. But it went viral, and I had posted it to Tumblr as well. And to this day, that video is always in my it's always being shared. It's like still going on Tumblr. So I would imagine if Vine was still around, probably still be going there too. But yeah, that just kind of set set it off, and then we were interviewed for Rude Tube, and started getting other inquiries, and that's kind of where all the influencer stuff started. That's when I started to learn what the heck an influencer was. So, and it opened a bunch of doors to like learning how to edit videos and learning how to work with these guys to make cute videos and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty neat.
So, do you remember the first time someone offered you money to post something on Oreo's account?
I know we were offered a lot of exchanges at the beginning. "Oh, post this and we'll give you" I think it was Purina, and I was excited. They offered us a contract, to post, like, monthly or something like that. It wasn't very much pay at that point, it was peanuts, but I was like, "What?" "You can actually make money doing this?" So, I accepted, and that led to other things afterwards. So, but yeah, at the beginning we pretty much got, "Oh, we'll send you this, and you post a picture of this." And
Looking back now, you said a lot of the early collaborations with brands was just for an exchange of product. Do you think that for people kind of up and coming creators now that they should always ask for a little bit of money in the beginning and never do it for exchange? Like where do
I don't think so. I think when you're first starting out, it's important to do those exchanges because you're down here, right? You're not at that level yet, and it's a good way to learn whether you're up to par with all that stuff. It's a good way to learn the ins and outs. It's a good way to learn what's good and what's not good, what works and what doesn't work. Um, and it's a good way to build relationships as well with brands. To come in right away and say, "Oh, I've got 10,000 followers, so I want you to pay me $25 or whatever for a post." It doesn't always settle so well with the brand, and they're going to have all kinds of explanations as to why they shouldn't pay you at the beginning. So what I always say is take a look at the product they're offering you. So if somebody comes in and says, "Okay, we want to send you a cat bed worth $120 for a post on Instagram." That's a pretty good exchange for somebody who's starting out, like, because you're not even gonna ask for the $120 to be paid to you if you've only got a few followers. Accept the exchange, do the work. It's gonna help your account to grow, it's gonna help you to be known by other brands, it's gonna give you practice, and then once you've had that practice, then you start asking for the money. Once you know how long it's going to take you to do the work, how long it's going to take you to put the video together, how long it's going to take you to take the photo, how long, what what do you have to go through to get that photo? What do you have to go through to get the video? How many hours of work are involved? Then you'll be able to balance it better, because at the beginning you don't really know what to ask for. You don't know how long it's gonna take. You don't So I say, yeah, those that's important at the beginning to do those exchanges for sure.
That's good advice. Leverage those opportunities to get good experience. And then, because I feel like there is almost an expectation where if like a brand is coming to you, they should have to pay you. But I like that of using it as a way to get experience, to build relationships, do all those things.
It's not all just about money all the time. It's about learning, it's about experience, about building those relationships. So it's important stuff. If the brand likes you and they wanna work with you again, 90% of the time, the next time they come back, they will offer you money, you know? So it's important to do that freebie first.
Yeah, and I think another thing too with doing paid promotions, it almost gives you credibility. I think back in the day, like people used to hate brand opportunities. They would like it would be like a sellout type thing. But I think now in 2022, it almost legitimizes an account. When a smaller account gets a brand deal, people go, "Oh wow, like they're clearly like something behind the scenes I might not see." So that's another advantage to doing it for free. It gives you a little bit more credibility when you're talking to brands in the future as well.
For sure. Yeah.
So Oreo Cat, you adopted him 2013.
Mhm.
And then the Hey Ya video, that was around 2016, I believe. So that was about 3 years.
Yeah, I think it was around 2016. I don't remember the exact date, but yeah, it was after, was it before or after I started Vine that I think it was after I started Vine that it went up. I don't remember.
But then, and so things where you're starting to kind of get into this world of influencer and influencer marketing, did things really go to kind of another level once you got onto Musically? Because I think things went pretty quick for you there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was a whole other world. That was crazy. My nephew was the one who had me join Musically. He was on it, and he texted me one day and he said, "Auntie Tina, you have to join Musically." I said, "What the heck is Musically?" He said, "Well, just download the app and join it. You can make Oreo famous." And I was like, "Oh God, Frank." I was like, "I've already got enough with Vine and this and that." And I still was working like full time illustrating. And I was like, "I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that." And he's like, "Oh, please, please, we could make videos together." And I was like, "Okay, okay." So I joined. And I think the first, first video I posted, Musically shared it to their Instagram, and my account blew up within a few days. I went from like no followers to like 30,000 followers, and like I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" You know? And then it was like, "Oh, okay, now I got to learn this too." And that that app, now TikTok, I think if I hadn't have joined that app, we wouldn't be where we are today. It really opened up a whole new world, for us. So we were the Oreo's the OG TikTok cat. We were the first cat account to be on that app, and I think that's why they shared our video because they probably had never seen anything like that on the app up to then, you know? And then once we joined, then all a bunch of other cat accounts started popping up, which is fine, and now there's cat accounts that are much more popular than Oreos and stuff, and that's cool. There's all kinds of amazing pet accounts, but we were the first ones. So it's something to say.
Oh, definitely, especially with how big TikTok's gotten. Like that's a pretty cool claim to fame. And so how did it even back then? So you get 30,000 people off of your first video because Musically reshared it. Is there pressure now for you that like, oh my goodness, there's an audience here that expects something that just off this first video?
For sure, like, I was like, "Okay, now I guess I have to post every day." You know, I guess I have to come up with new ideas and, get my game on and stuff because people are really liking this. So, at that point, it was a huge learning curve. I had to look at what everybody else was doing on the app, what's popular, and the reuse of sounds. Okay, try and come up with this sound is popular. It was it was like it was a lot to learn in like a small amount of time. And the more I posted, the more and more and more and more. And then once they started the live app, which was two separate apps at the beginning, that blew us even more out of the water because everybody wanted to see them live. So we were streaming like every day, which I still do now, but not on TikTok. I do on Facebook every day. But at the beginning, it was on Musically or Lively every day, and I did that for a few years.
And are you doing anything with the cats when you're live, or is it more so like I know some people like just the aesthetics of like watching an animal that's like calming to them? Like, what does the live look like for you?
It's an interaction with our followers. We answer questions. We talk about our day. I play with the cats during the stream, so you'll see Oreo playing with his toys, Pudding playing with his toys. They get treats. I talk with the fans. I used to cook while I was on the stream, and I would have my ex-husband at the time. We would do this thing where I would say, "Okay, Oreo, can you open the can of tomatoes?" And I'd put the can of tomatoes in front of Oreo. I'd turn around and keep cooking. Then I'd turn back, and the can would be open. We'd do silly things like that, and people loved it. They loved watching the cats play. We used to have guests on Lively. We'd be able to guest some of the kids, and they would ask questions and stuff, and they loved it. So yeah, that's there's no real like format. It's just, kind of whatever goes. It's a chance to interact with everyone and that. So
And you said how musically kind of opened some doors and changed a lot of things for you. How did it do that? Was it just because it was growing so fast? Or like what changed as a result of musically?
musically taught me how to make videos that had like a storyline. So I started experimenting with that once I was on Musically, because on Vine it was only 7 seconds, and most of the stuff there wasn't really any storyline to it. Once Musically came out and you had that full 15 seconds, it was really different. There was more time to get in like some sort of format, storyline, whatever. And the sharing of sounds often contributed to that, because somebody would make a sound that had some form of storyline, and I would take that sound and dress Oreo up and edit it so that we'd have the different scenes and stuff. So it taught me a lot about editing, taught me a lot about how to work with my cat, what he liked, what he didn't like. Um, it taught me how to train him to do things. Um, and it taught me how to create a content that has some form of storyline, some funny things, some things that people will want to come back to watch. So I think it was really important in the steps to where we are now.
People coming back is the important thing. Because I found a quote or I heard in an interview or something that where you said that so many people are one hit wonders on TikTok that you wanted to make sure Oreo wasn't one. And so was it a result of that storytelling content why he wasn't a one hit wonder?
I think so. Yeah, I really think so. It's very hard to stay relevant on an app like that. You can have one video that's going to go viral, but then every other video you put up after that, nobody sees it. So yeah, it's like essentially one hit wonder. I mean, you really have to learn. That app is so fast paced. Every week there's something new that's trending. So you really have to take the time to look at the hashtags, look at the trends, look at what everybody else is doing, look at what's popular, and try your best to keep up with that. And in doing that, and if you can, stay relevant, which it helps you stay relevant to keep up with the trends. And once you've have that sort of status, then you can take the time to start doing the things that you like that aren't necessarily trending, because you're going to have an audience there that's going to watch it. But at the beginning, it's really important to do what's trending, keep up with what's going on, and try to make those videos that everybody is interested in, that everybody is watching. So you may not necessarily like it at the beginning, but it's important.
And so you and Oreo, you and all the cats, you've definitely kind of surpassed that initial threshold now with 2.3 million. Like you don't have to just follow the trends anymore. You can kind of do what you want. So what does your posting schedule look like today? Is it daily? And how do you determine what to post on any given day?
It is daily. Sometimes I'll skip a day on TikTok. At this point on TikTok, I mean, not all of our videos are viral, right? On TikTok, we have some that will go up to 4 million, and then we got some that'll stay at like 5, 6,000. Um, I'm on so many platforms now that it's hard to put all of my time into TikTok. Um, Money is not coming from TikTok. So that's something also that you have to consider. If you're going to put a lot of time into a platform at the point where you have like a really good following, you need to be able to justify that amount of time that you're putting there. And TikTok is not, I can't justify it. So it's not where it's not where my revenue is coming from, basically. Um, but I do make videos for other platforms daily, so either I will take a piece of that video, put it on TikTok too. Sometimes if I see a really cool trend, I'll do the video specifically for TikTok. But most of the time, it's a video that I'll post everywhere else, you know.
And so you mentioned so TikTok's not where your revenue's coming from. I know at one point you signed a deal to be producing content for Likey, right? Like you were signed to the platform by them.
Well, Likey is they have like a creators program. So when you join the app, there's different badges that you can earn on Likey. So I think there's a silver badge, there's a blue badge, which we have. And when you join the platform, all of that is explained. So blue badge creators, they make revenue monthly in accordance to um, their videos being what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even talk straight. So it's not views and it's not likes. Your video has to be like accepted and then it's shown, there's a whole series of events that you have to follow on Likey. But blue badge creators will make a certain amount of money depending on their number of followers and how many videos have been approved per month. The minimum video approval count, I believe, is 15. So you have to have at least 15 approved videos to make your amount of money that you can make per month. And the amount that you make depends on how many followers you have. Um, and I when I first started on Likey, I was contracted as a short uh, short form video creator. I was contracted to help like populate the app with stuff. And we were under that contract for a couple of years. And then they changed everything. And it was this video approval thing that their new creators program um, implemented. I think it first started in India and then it came around. And the amount that we were making was like cut in half. But I was still making something. And now it's balanced itself back, but we still have to do the video approvals. We have to have 15 approvals. So I do concentrate a lot on that app because I know that there's a potential to make some revenue at the end of the month. I don't make any revenue on YouTube, but I know you can, like with the ads and stuff like that. Facebook is that way also. You can make revenue with ads. But TikTok, the only time I make revenue is if I go live or if I have a promo to do, like a brand who pays me to do a TikTok video, which does happen. Um, but I don't have revenue coming in from there every day. So
And you mentioned with TikTok how sometimes your views will hit 4 million and the next video you'll post will hit 5,000. Is there anything you look for or when you see something like, oh, this video is going to go viral or this video is probably not, like, is there anything you look for to know when a video is going to do well?
there's not really any way of knowing, very honestly. The algorithm on TikTok is like a mystery to everyone. Sometimes I'll post a video that I think is going to do really well and it goes nowhere. There have been a few times where I posted something and I'm like, I know this one's going to do well. And it did, like the one where Oreo took the toast. I was like, this is going to do well. I know it. And it totally blew up. But other times I'll be like, oh, yeah, this is going to do really well. And it doesn't. And then there's other times where I'll be like, oh, this one is stupid. It's not going to go anywhere. And it gets like so many views. So I don't know. There's not really any way of knowing. I think sometimes using a trending sound definitely helps. Um, Hashtags don't always help, but I find sounds sometimes will help to push it.
And so with all the content that you have to post on all the different platforms, TikTok, Likey, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, everywhere, YouTube, Twitter, are you batch recording everything? Are you trying to like set aside like Tuesdays to just record as much as you possibly can and schedule that? Or are you just recording everything every day?
I record every day. Yeah.
Wow.
Um Sometimes, like, if I have a contract for an app or something that I need to make a certain amount of videos per week or per month, um, sometimes it's easier to take a day and say, "Okay, I'm gonna make, like, 4 or 5 videos today." So I have done that before, um, but most of the time, it's just film every day. The thing is with pets is, like, you never know what's gonna happen. Um So a lot of the fun of working with pets is filming those moments that are sort of random, so like my camera is always ready. My It's always ready to film something, and Pudding is the most random cat I've ever met. So he does something weird every day. There is not a day that goes by that he doesn't do something weird. So sometimes all I need to do is wait for that random moment in that day and post it. Or even better, I get a compilation of random moments in that day that I can make a longer video with. Um, and then there are other days where I'll do like something that has a storyline or whatever. But yeah, I film pretty much every day, at least 2 videos a day.
That's why. How do you take a break then? As a content creator, like how do you find time to take a break?
You don't. You don't. I work a lot. I work a lot of hours. I work like 80 hours a week, I guess about. I also teach every morning. I teach kids in China online. I've been doing it for 4 years. So I get up at 20 past 4. And I teach 5 days a week. I used to do it 7 days a week. I just recently took 2 days, 2 mornings off. So from 20 past 4 to 8 o'clock, I have classes. And then after that, I have breakfast or whatever. And then I kind of look through what's trending here and there and decide like, what am I going to film today? What am I going to do today? Am I going to come up with something that has a storyline, or am I just going to wait for Pudding to do something stupid? Sometimes I film myself playing with the cats. Um, but yeah, you have to be really like I have a set, okay, we got to do this at this time, this at this. And when I do make a video that has like a storyline, I write everything down. I write down my shots before I film everything. So you got to be organized. But as far as taking breaks, it doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. Unless like I'm sick or they're sick. Over the holidays, they were all sick. So there were a couple of days where I had to repost older videos because I just didn't have time to film anything that day, but I still post something kind of thing, you know. Or I use a video that I posted on another platform that I didn't post there yet, or you know what I mean.
How closely are you paying attention to the likes, the views, the comments, and all the analytics and stuff like that? And how much does that weigh on your mood throughout the day?
I don't really pay attention to it anymore. Um because it can either pump you up or can wear you down. I think you gotta take everything with stride, take everything with a grain of salt. Sometimes some of the comments can be really nasty too. Yeah, even on our account. We have a cat account, but sometimes we can get some really nasty ones in there. Um, I think if you enjoy what you're doing, if you believe in yourself, if you can make your own self laugh with what you're creating, that's the most important part. Not every video that you post needs to go viral, but every video that you post should have a certain quality to it. So I prefer quality to sort of well, the quantity of likes or whatever. If I could post a video that gets 10,000 likes and I'm really proud of that video, I'm okay with that. That video doesn't need 5 million likes. It's a good video. I know the content is good. I know the quality is good. I know it's there. And I know I'm going to get inquiries from people because of the quality. Brands don't always look for the most famous person. They will look for somebody they know makes really good quality content. So for me, I want to be the one that they say, yeah, their videos are really good. Let's get them. You know, we don't have to be the most famous and I don't have to have the most likes. So I don't necessarily think about it, you know, on a daily basis.
What makes a video quality for you? Because I feel like there's almost like a misconception where some people hear the word quality and they think it's like a super good camera. But it's like, what does the word quality mean for you?
It doesn't mean that you have to have the best camera. It just means that your video should, from start to finish, capture people and make them want to watch from the beginning to the end, you know. Whether it's something funny, whether it's something random, whether it has a storyline, you know, something that people are going to sort of want to watch from A to Z and not just like stop watching after 3 seconds or whatever. So, Oreo, you got treat all over your fur.
I have to say, if anyone's just listening to this, I highly recommend you go and watch it on YouTube because you get to see Oreo just going to town on his treat here for the last an impressively long time. He's been focused on that treat.
Yeah,
Um, is there anything that you do in your in your videos to try and kind of hook people? Oh, there he is. Now you get to see his face on camera for the first. Actually, I think he was sitting in the back at the beginning.
yeah.
Um, but there he is. So I highly recommend. Yeah, if you're not watching, or if you're not listening, if you're only listening and not watching, you definitely got to come and watch this episode. But is there anything you do with your videos to? You talked about the storytelling thing to kind of keep people engaged throughout. Is there anything in the beginning you try to do to hook people right away?
That is usually important. Like if I'm doing a compilation video with pudding or whatever, I'll try and put one of like the best random acts right in the first few seconds. If it's a longer video, so I'll do that on Facebook, for example, where I post like the long form. And then on TikTok, I'll take that best clip and I'll just post that best clip on TikTok instead of posting the long video. If it's like if it's something that has like a story form, I try to like, you know, put something in the first shot that is interesting. Like either that people say, "Well, what's the cat do? Is that a cat? What's the cat doing? They're getting dressed. They're brushing their teeth. What?" You know, something to for the people to kind of want to stick around and watch the rest of the video.
What's been the biggest lesson you've learned over the last, I'm trying to math here, 7 years since you got on, since N2 shared your photo to now? What's kind of the biggest lesson you've learned about social media?
Believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that what you're doing is no good, that what you're doing is doesn't make sense, or you know that there's always somebody out there that's going to appreciate what you're putting out. And you really need to for everybody else to believe in what you're doing, you have to believe in what you're doing. And I learned that throughout all this because I noticed whenever I was kind of down, I'm thinking, you know, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. It doesn't work. And when you're like, I got this. You know, it's, I got this. I believe in this. I've got this. We're going to do this. We're going to make it. It works. So you have to really, you have to care about what you're doing. You can't just put it out there and say, I'm going to make $1 million with this or whatever. You got to put it out there and say, I want to put it out there because I want to put it out there. I believe in what I've made. I believe in what I've created. I believe that other people will enjoy what I've created. So if you believe it, then other people will.
How do you get there? How do you get to the point where you do believe in yourself? Because for a lot of people, they might not. It's like, almost like, what is your advice to someone who currently doesn't necessarily believe in themselves and the content they're putting out?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, you got to do your best. I mean, why are you there? Think about it. You know, why are you there? If you don't want to believe in what you're doing, then social media is not for you. Period. Don't do it. You know, if you really want that, if you want to become somebody on social media, um, you have no choice. You have to. You have to pull up your pants and say, "Hey, I believe in this. I'm going to do this," and because otherwise, it's just not the right field for you.
If you woke up tomorrow and you had to start over, you had no following on any platform, what would you do differently starting tomorrow? And as a caveat to the question, would you try and build it all again?
Wow. Um, I don't think I would do anything differently because what I've done works and what I've done I'm proud of. Um, I put I put a lot of work into it. And I think that's why it is where it is today. So I don't think I would necessarily change anything. I mean, I would have knowledge that I didn't have before, so I'd maybe use that this time rather than not having that knowledge, but I would still work my butt off for sure. Because it's something that I can be proud of and it's something that I could say, I did this myself. Um, I didn't do this for anybody else. I did this for me. I did this myself. And it's something that I can be proud of.
What's your favorite part about making all this content?
The people that watch it, the followers, they are amazing. They're incredible. They are amazing. Never in my life did I expect to have such an amazing online family. Like, and I can call them a family, like I feel like I know these people. I've made a lot of friends. These people, they would do anything for my cats. They've helped us through difficult times more than once. I mean, they're the reason why we're here. Without them, we would be nothing. So I think that's the most amazing part is everybody, every single person who watches our videos, they're all incredible. I'm very, very grateful for each and every one of them.
How do you establish a connection like that? Because that's not a regular thing to have on social media. You see all these people with huge followings and little engagement, or not a genuine community or family that they've built. So how have you been able to do that?
You got to take the time to interact. I think the live streaming really, really helps with that. It's a really important part of being on social media. For us, we saw a huge change once the pandemic took took hold. I decided to start going live every day on Facebook for people who were stuck at home, who couldn't go out, and we kind of just continued doing it, and I'm still doing it. And I think like a lot of people took that to heart, and we started to make a lot of friends. Um, you gotta you really have to have an exchange. So I've gotten friend requests from a lot of people that follow us, which is amazing. I have some people who follow us who like text me every day. If I don't post by a certain hour, they're like, "Tina, are you okay?" You know, it's amazing. It's like, wow, like you like live in the UK or in Australia or whatever, and you're worried about me because I didn't post at 10 a.m. or it's incredible. It's awesome. So you if you want those connections, you can have them, but you got to put in the time to make them.
And I think with those live streams too that you mentioned, it's also like seeing you and the cats in a very authentic way. Like
Mhm.
it's not edited, it's raw, it's real
No,
to the
that's it.
moment, and they don't get that
Yeah.
from a regular video.
Yeah, it's like when you FaceTime your cousin or your friend or whatever, it's very intimate. Um so yeah, it's really, really important to have those live moments to be able to interact with everybody. I love them. I really like if I can't live stream in a day, I'm like depressed. Because I really love talking with everybody. I like asking them like, what did you guys do today? Sometimes we'll talk about what everybody had for dinner, oh, I had fish and chips, I had pizza, I had this, I had that. And like everybody shares their experiences as well. And if you look at the streams, like they talk with each other too. Like they all know each other now, it's really, really cool. So it's fun for everyone.
I was going to ask you what surprised you the most in the last since you started, but would it be kind of this community, this family that you've developed? That's been what surprised you the most out of everything.
Definitely.
Have you ever thought of not necessarily on the Oreo Cat account, but creating your own separate accounts and creating content around yourself and putting yourself as kind of the face of an account at any point?
No. I'm not I don't really like to be on camera. Even a lot of times in the live streams, I film them, I'll talk, but the camera is on them. I'll turn it around too every once in a while, but I'm not the focus. The camera's more on them all the time, and it's just because I'm a little shy that way. I mean, I'm just, I'm not I don't wanna be the main character, I don't mind being the one doing all the work behind it, that's cool, but I don't wanna be the main character. So, I'm a little too scared.
What's the long term goal with the accounts? Is it just going to keep doing what you're doing? Do you have visions of where you're going to take everything? Like, what are you thinking long term?
I just wanna keep doing it for as long as people keep watching. Um, I mean, the more, uh, brands that I get to work with, the better. We've gotten to work with some really awesome ones this year. Um, I would love for, like, a pet food company to pick us up at one point and, have, like, something stable like that. Maybe have them be on, like, a bag of litter or a bag of food or something like that. I would love that. Um Oreo had a clip in a movie at one point. If we could do something like that again, that would be great. But yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. I'll go wherever God wants it to take me. So He put me here for a reason, and I'm just gonna keep going with it until for as long as everybody wants to be a part of it. So I mean, right now it's helped a lot of people and that makes me really happy. So if we can continue to do that, then that's great. We
That's amazing. How do you, as things keep progressing, how do you make sure that you still enjoy what you're doing? Like as more a thing as he keeps growing and everything like that, how do you make sure you enjoy the process and it doesn't become a chore or like a job?
wow. Well, I love it. I mean, I think if you really enjoy what you're doing, it's not a job. I mean, this is my job, it is it is my job, but it doesn't feel like a job. I get to play with my cats every day, which is amazing. I adore what I do. I absolutely love it. And I think if you're really passionate about what you do, no matter what it is that you do, it's not going to feel redundant. It's not going to feel like, oh, I got to get up and make all these videos and stuff. I've never felt that way. I can't see myself feeling that way. If I do feel overwhelmed because I have too many things coming in, and it does happen, um then that's a day that, okay, I'll take a break from streaming, or I'll go see my parents, or you know try and change my mind a little bit, but I always come back to it, and you know I think there's a couple of times where I've had to say no to somebody because I had too many things going on, but I can't see myself like not enjoying it.
So you've had to say no with just too many things going on. How do you determine what to say yes to?
I usually go with what comes first. So, like, let's say brand X contacts me on Monday, and great, it sounds like a really cool project. Okay, good, let's go. Then brand B contacts me on Tuesday. I still have place for them. Okay, great. And then brand C contacts me on Friday, but I don't have time either. I'll give them options and say, okay, we can't post on this day, but if we can push it a few weeks, we can do this day because I've already got this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Um, and the other thing in like for choices, there's obviously there's things that I like, there's things that I don't like, there's products I know that are good, there's products I know that aren't good. Um, if we get a product in, it happened just a little while ago. We said okay to this brand for a product, and I received the product, and I really didn't like it. And I want to be honest with our followers, so I contacted them back and I said, "Look, I can't post this. It doesn't work for us. I'm not impressed with it. I can't post it. I'm sorry. Can I send it back to you?" And okay, and then you contact that brand, see that you said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have time." Okay, now I have time. Do you still want to do it or whatever, you know? So that's it. There's a will, there's a way. Sometimes their schedule doesn't permit for waiting, and then you're like, "Okay, well." I often will try and give them another name if I really if it doesn't fit. So if I can't post on the 15th and you need it for the 15th, well then here's N2's email, contact him. Maybe he can post on the 15th, you know. So
We're currently talking about how you approach working with brands, how Oreo approaches working with brands. How often do you look back on the whole journey? Like from 2013 when you adopt him, just was supposed to be for a couple days to now 2022, millions of followers on social media, working with companies that pay, that want him to see their products and post about their products. Like, how often do you reflect on the whole journey?
pretty much daily. Like every single time I get contacted by somebody or something, I just say thank you. Thank you, whoever is, you know, giving us a watching over us and handing us these things. Thank you. It's like I'm floored like every time, you know, like it doesn't change. Like it's not like, "Oh yeah, you know, whatever." It's like every time I'm like, I can't believe this. Like today is awesome. Today is wow. Like we're here, you know, and then tomorrow's going to be the same thing. Wow, I'm here. Thank you. You know, it's that's the way it is all the time.
Do you ever stop and think about just how many people, we'll just say for like 6, 7 million people is that follows you and your cats on social media? Like, do you ever think of how big a
I
number that
know.
is?
I know. I know. I know. I've it's crazy. I know. Like I'm so grateful. You know, like I don't even understand some days, but I'm just really grateful for all of them. So
What would you say? I know we've talked about believing in yourself and the importance of that. What else would you say to someone who's struggling to find some traction and grow on social media? They're putting the work in, but they just can't quite get through that glass ceiling and get some growth.
maybe you need to sort of like rethink your niche sometimes, you know. Sometimes you'll think that, "Oh, I want to do this." And then maybe that niche is not right for you. So I would say to anybody who's struggling is try different things at the beginning. Um, don't box yourself in to like one thing. If you post something and it doesn't work, try something else. Don't get discouraged. If it doesn't work right away, you got to keep at it because eventually something will work. Just, you know, keep believing in yourself and you'll find that magic you know, potion or whatever, that magic, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a spell, you know, that's what works for you. So
I like that. Keep trying and believe in yourself. I think those are two important takeaways for creators. And for my final question, I like to ask this at the end of every podcast. And I like to flip the script a little bit. So instead of me asking the question, it's you asking the question, but it's not to me. So pretend you have a crystal ball. You can ask this crystal ball any question, you'll get the 100% honest answer. What is one question you want to know the answer to?
I don't know what I would ask a crystal ball. I really don't know. I'm stumped. I'm
That's
totally
okay.
stumped.
I've had people come on here and ask the crystal ball what question they should ask.
Oh, well, there you go. What question should I ask? What question should I ask? I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
No worries. It's a bit of a curveball I like to throw at the end of every episode, but I appreciate you for taking time to jump on here. I know I rescheduled a couple times, so I really appreciate that we were able to make this happen. I want to give you the floor now. Where can the people find you? Where can they find your cats? Plug anything and everything you got right now.
The best place to go is our website. So it's www.theoreocat.com. And if you visit our website, you will find links to all of our social media. So if you're not sure where to find us, that's the best place to go first. You'll find our Facebook, our TikTok, our Likey, everything if you check out our website.
Awesome. Well, make sure it's linked in the show notes down below so people can find it and they can find the rest of your social media that way. But I want to thank you once again for taking time to be on the podcast. And I want to thank everybody for listening, whether you've listened the entire way through or you only listen to bits and pieces. I really appreciate you take time to check this out. Everyone do me a big favor. Go and follow Tina, Oreo Cat, Pudding. Like I said, it'll be linked in the show notes down below so you can find it. If you'd like to follow me, you can find me everywhere on social media at the Jacob Kelly. Feel free to come and say hello. My DMs are always open. As always, today's podcast is powered by True Fan. Thank you once again for listening. We'll talk soon.